It's snowing again here in Medford, Oregon, and there's like a lot of snow. There's like tons and tons of snow just falling from the sky, and it's kind of starting to stick to the ground, so that's pretty cool. There's so much snow falling that I'm going to ruin my Bible if I bring it out there. So I'm going to read you this verse and then we can talk about it here in a second. Exodus 33:8 says, whenever Moses went out to the tent, all the people would rise up and each would stand at his tent door and watch Moses until he had gone into the tent. When Moses entered the tent, the pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent, and the Lord would speak to Moses. And when all the people saw the pillar of cloud standing at the entrance of the tent, all the people would rise up and worship, each at his own tent door. So did you get that? Okay, remember, now we're gonna go talk about it. Generally, if it snows in Medford, it's usually just snows once, and it's either a bunch of snow that lasts for a few days and then it goes away, or it'll be just a little bit of snow and it'll melt just later that day, and that's pretty much all the snow that we'll get the whole year. But this year, it's probably snowed like 5 times. It snows and then it melts away and it rains, and then it snows and it melts away and it rains, and it's a lot more snow this year than usual. I'm Josiah Douglas. I do biblical inspiration and motivation here on YouTube 5 days a week. If you're into that thing, you know, go ahead and hit subscribe. So let's get back to the Israelites. Whenever Moses would go to the tent of meeting, the place that he would go and he would talk to God, the Israelites, they would all see him going to the tent of meeting outside the camp, and they would stand up, they'd get out of their tent, and they'd go and they'd watch him go. And they'd wait there, and they'd wait until they see the pillar of smoke, which was God incarnate, come down onto the tent of meeting, and he would start speaking to Moses. And as soon as they saw the pillar come down onto the tent of meeting, they would start worshiping God themselves. But I don't think it's the same kind of worship that you and I use to worship God. I think honestly that the Israelites were worshiping God out of fear. Maybe some of them understood that God was amazing, he was great, but I think it was mostly a fear-based thing. They're worshiping God so that he wouldn't kill them. Not that God necessarily would have killed them. I just don't think that they understood that yet. I think that to them, God was this big, scary entity that had all this power, and they were just doing whatever they could to stay on his good side. The point I'm trying to get at here, though, is that the Israelites, they had every opportunity to go out to the tent of meeting with Moses and to talk to God themselves, but they didn't. They were scared of him, or they just didn't want to do it for whatever reason. They had no relationship with God themselves. It was all through Moses. And don't do that yourself. A lot of times as Christians, it's easy to go to church or have your Christian friends who are going to speak in your life and be God's voice for your life, but you're not actually going to the tent of meeting or going to God yourself to hear what he has to say for you. God wants to have a real relationship with you, not just a relationship through somebody else or through your pastor. God wants to be a good friend with you. It's important that you yourself go to the tent of meeting. You yourself go and you talk to God and you have a real relationship with him. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment below, hit subscribe, and I'm gonna go ahead and get inside because I'm getting covered with snow right now and it's getting pretty chilly.